utensils.
Right. So that one seems to be a relatively simple change because an alternative readily exists. It's being used by competitors, not our choice. But then you're faced with items like when you get meat in the supermarket, it comes in a polystyrene tray. What is Brookline doing about that? Are there alternatives that are being enforced, or is that still allowed?
Well, so most of these laws, because there's so many products, right? If you're at a restaurant or a grocery store, you have to reconsider a large number of products that are used in your products, certain packaging for your products. So there's often written in exemptions or either for hardship or because the product doesn't exist. But I can tell you for meat and vegetable trays, there are plenty of options. So chicken now is typically coming in a polypropylene tray. It's an open thing, or there's cellulosic, paper-based products for vegetables. So when we implemented our polystyrene law in 2012, the stock market chose that. They could have gone with a petrochemical product, but they went with a cellulosic product. And it's made by ecoRI, which is one of the largest packaging manufacturers in the world. So, they're getting into this too because they realize that their customers are asking for more sustainable options. And these are big operations. They have the resources to develop new products, and it's the same distribution channel they're working with today. So they said, okay, you can have the polystyrene foam, or you can have a more sustainable green option. And you can go to their websites and you can see, how they differentiate those offerings. But those are very standard. I mean, there are some products that are a little trickier, so like party platters, which we don't maybe not use as much. You might say, well, there isn't one that's available today. And we talked about this in Brookline and many of our stores. We went through a multi-year process. We kind of trialed this, and it's a larger community, we're a community of 60,000. So we've kind of been through this process and heard these questions and been able, I think, to allay any concerns that business owners would have about making this transition. But there are some products where there may not be something today. I guess, and again, unless it's in the reusable, the problem with reusables is if it's a party platter, you have to bring the platter back, you're going to have to deposit, or you're going to, send someone out to collect it because it's an aluminum tray, it has some value. You're not just saying, well, if you can't bring it back, just throw it away. We don't want to do that with an aluminum tray or a glass tray. So, you've got more reusable options, or you can say, maybe there isn't a paper one that works as well, and you say, okay, that's not going to be one where you're going to be required to change.
Does anyone have any questions? If you do, feel free to come up and hopefully know the answers to them. Any questions at all?
Just a comment. I've reached out. I'm originally from Hawaii. I grew up in Maui, and lots of friends and family are still there. And they just implemented this ban on Maui County December 31st. So I've reached out to ask how it's going, and haven't really heard anything back yet. But I know people at town council and people who are restaurant owners and stuff, most of whom were already trying to use sustainable products. So I don't think it's a huge transition for them. But for a lot of local businesses that used a lot of polystyrene clamshell, to-go stuff, it'll be, I'm curious just to see how it's being welcomed. But they had the plastic bag ban way before we did, and it was really successful. And so they've been working. And again, beach communities that care about their wildlife, that care about those things, are kind of ahead of the curve. So I don't know how it's going exactly, but I'd be happy to find out more when I get more information. But their ban's only 2 weeks old.
I just want to make a comment. I heard just before the meeting that the manager from Shaw's had no intention of showing up because apparently it's not an issue for them, even though they will be impacted quite a bit because this includes the sale of plastic bags full of foam cups and polystyrene products that they sell on their shelves, as well as their meat packing and their food packaging. But she apparently said that this isn't going to be an issue because she's just spoken with corporate, and they're already having to do that to the 20, there are 20 communities in Massachusetts.
Well, there's 30 communities in Massachusetts who have polystyrene bans, and then there's usually, as I said, it's usually some adjunct regulation around what happens to the alternatives. Some are as simple as a polystyrene foam ban and just for food packaging, but others like Brookline and Concord and have gone beyond that to address multiple aspects of packaging. I mean, I should point out that here's something that, and I should mention, this came in bulk. I mean, this is like picnicware. This is not just something, this isn't something that appeared, that I obtained in a restaurant like some of these. And this is a package of heavy-duty compostable bowls. It's sold like a Star Market. So these products are being sold today. You just may not have noticed them. And that we're kind of focusing some attention on some of these product choices. But this is a consumer product, and you can buy a package of 20 or 30 or whatever of these, so that you don't have, so that your only choice is in a polystyrene plate or bowl.
Yeah, it strikes me, when we did the plastic bag ban, that required a change in behavior by the consumers. And so it took a while, and I'll use myself as an example. I bring the bags and leave them in the car every time for a period of time, and then you go back out to get them, and then eventually you sort of get into that. So it took a little while to change of behavior, to pick up, get the bags, and start to use them. In this case, I don't think the consumer is going to see much of a difference. If you run into the store and you want to buy disposable cups for a party that you're going to get, if the foam cups aren't on the shelves, you're just going to get the paper cups, and you probably won't even think twice about it. If you go into Dunkin' Donuts for a coffee and they give you a paper cup, I'm not sure how many people would even notice. So from a consumer point of view, it seems like a fairly easy adjustment. It's the businesses, one of the reasons we really wanted the Economic Development Committee to look into this. The businesses have to make that adjustment to their supply chains and so on. So, do we have any other questions? Sure.
For us, we have a store with a restaurant, so we sell water bottles, we sell melting bottle, plastic bottle, so we sell a lot of products. Not we serving it, it's just we brought it over the store. So is that allowed to stay on it with this ban or change it?
So
Or this is different?
My understanding is because we can recycle plastic water bottles, that yes, those would still be allowed. But you could not sell foam coffee cups, which, by the way, are release toxins when you add hot liquids to them. Let's not forget that point. And you wouldn't be able to sell the stirs and the plastic straws, but you could sell an alternative if that was, what you wanted to sell. But I'm interested because I know in your case you do supply wonderful hummus and
people don't want to see it.
in a big platter. But it's my, and that was the platter that I had in my car that you were checking out, because I did return it and you did resupply it. But that would be okay to continue using that, because even though we can't I'm not sure we could put that into the recycling bins, we do accept at our recycling center hard plastic that is carted away to be recycled.
Yeah, under the law, if it's recyclable, it's allowable.
Yeah.
And it's usually things that are packaged on site, so the hummus that you're packaging on site would be affected, but the bottle of water that you obviously aren't packaging on site, that's unaffected totally by this law. But, I mean, I would say that, you know, bottled water is not something we want to encourage, but it's not the subject of tonight's regulation.
So we're talking, sorry, can I talk?
No.
We're talking styrofoam or plastic? Because a lot of the packaging we sell to homeless and stuff like that, it's a see-through plastic. People do not want to buy something they cannot see. And that is a big disadvantage to our community, to the businesses in this area. Shaw's, of course. Shaw's doesn't care. Corporate America, it does whatever it wants, you know, and it's easy for it to replace things. But small business, who just starting or whatever it is, it's not easy. And the cost is not easy either. It's easy to sell something for a certain price and lower the price, but when you add a price to it and make it more expensive, people won't buy it. And that's a fact.
But you're not,
Maybe I can ask a question for Clint and possibly clarify. This is focused on non-recyclable polystyrene. There are clear plastic containers that are not polystyrene, right?
Yes, there's PET, polyethylene terephthalate. Is that included in your ban or not? I don't remember what we included. So I mean, there's three classes we call what's called the toxic trio. One is polystyrene, there's polyvinyl chloride, and the third is polyethylene terephthalate. It's numbers 6, 3, and 1. So even though they're recyclable, they're still not good for it. But this, depending on how you, I haven't seen the latest draft, if it includes polyethylene terephthalate or not, which has very good clarity. So it's great for those kind of impulse purchases that you want for, you know, I mean, at supermarkets you'll see, you know, pre-chopped fruit or celery or carrots or something in these kind of packaged containers. Those are most often polyethylene terephthalate. So in Brookline, we are getting rid of that because of the toxic hazard. But there are alternatives that are perhaps less clear. Like this is a low density polyethylene, not as see-through, but it is still plastic and it is recyclable. So this will still be allowed. There are other communities who are going beyond this and saying, you know what, we don't want any more fossil fuels. We don't want to kill any more animals. And they're getting rid of these things. Like Berkeley, California, Santa Cruz County in California. But you'll have to look at your law to see if it is a pick. So polyethylene terephthalate is in there. Yes. So that would not be allowed. But there are some alternatives that do have high clarity. Polylactic acid is pretty clear, but its shelf life is a little different. So I don't know, depending on how long you leave something on the shelf, you might not want to package it in that. So I don't know, it'll depend. But depending again on the exemptions they allow here, they might say, we don't know, we'll give you extra time to think about that, or we'll exempt this. That's somewhat up to how you implement it.
The polyethylene terephthalate is only for food served at restaurants. For food sold in a retail fashion, it's only polystyrene foam.
No, I'm calling it would apply to this if you're packaging it on site. If you were selling someone else's hummus.
No, it's packaging on site.
Yeah, if you were selling, Cedars hummus or something, that would be allowed because you're not packaging it on site.
So that's another disadvantage.
Yeah.
I mean, so you're almost telling us, don't do it yourself. Get it from the corporation.
It again depends on the jurisdiction. And like I said, in California, they've been much more aggressive. They're saying, you know what, it doesn't matter if you're packaging on site or off site, we don't want it because it's not good for us in that sense. But that's not what's happening here. But if you're packaging on site, that's great. They're making your own. I'm sure it's delicious. You may need to work with your supplier or to find something that will fit under this, unless you qualify for a hardship exemption or something. And that is up to the discretion of your regulatory authority. But in general, as I said, plastics perform really well. They have these downsides, so there's a trade-off there.
Unless the town wants to supply us with a display refrigerator, that's $10,000, then that would be
Since you're a small town and you accept, it sounds like you'll take back a party platter. Maybe you should start talking about people, if you declare it as reusable and you say, oh, we'll take those back and we'll wash them and reuse them.
No, we can use it only for the same customer
Yeah.
that wants that. I cannot take something back and give it to another customer. That won't be
That's
fair.
health code thing.
Yeah.
I think besides these questions or whatever, I would like to give Tim the opportunity to speak to I think he might have
Yeah.
additional information for you when he speaks.
I'm still not clear. Is it styrofoam or all plastics?
No, it's 3 plastics. Polystyrene, which is number 6, polyvinyl chloride, which is number 3, and polyethylene terephthalate, which is number 1. And I believe that's what you're using for your house.
And when you say
that's what
number
this is.
Yes.
3-1, you're talking about on the labels.
Yeah, the little recycling triangle number is what I'm talking about. It's 1, 3, and 6. The ones that are relatively toxic.
Can you clarify that in the actual ordinance?
Someone handed it to me here, and I see it.
Yeah.
It's based on, it's similar to what we had in Brooklyn.
There is all disposable food serviceware that contains polystyrene, polyvinyl chloride, or polyethylene terephthalate.
So it's not just polystyrene foam, it's more than that. A fair amount more.
All
Yes.
the stuff out
Where
there.
does there have the numbers?
Yeah, well, we should add that to the,
Some of them don't have, you don't know what this stir is made out of. It has no recycling triangle on it. It doesn't have room for it. And even if they put a triangle on it, it doesn't mean it's recyclable. But it's unidentified, but I can tell you it's I think it's polypropylene. I don't know if it's polypropylene or polystyrene. You can, there's different ways you can tell. I'm not going to go into it.
definitely do that.
So it strikes me as if I were a business and I was told I can't do this, one of the first questions would be, well, what can I do? What's a good alternative? So considering there are 30 communities in Massachusetts and obviously nationwide there's a bunch more, do you know of anyone who has created essentially a best practices?
So this is kind of cheat sheets. So in Brookline, the health inspector
Tim has the.
they had them on their smartphones. They said, oh, you need this? This is what you need to use. Others, like the town of Lee, Massachusetts, the Berkshires, they have a printed guide. And again, they're trying to push people toward the compostable alternatives in general for single use. Again, just as with your bag shopping that you were talking about, reusable is better. Glass is another alternative. I know it's much more expensive, but it's a great product, great clarity, no toxicity, no one's dying from glass.
A platter is like, I get
No, not platters.
20, 30 bucks.
Yeah, I know. Then you want it back. But then you can, again, you can say, you know what, you have to pay a deposit on it. If you don't bring it back, we'll buy it.
That becomes a health hazard.
Well, you.
I mean, we're gonna go back like the soda bottles that we would
Right.
send them back and wash them and send them back.
Right. So do you have dishwashing facilities on your site?
No.
Should we let Tim?
It's up to you.
Question about exemptions, and I don't know, it can wait until after, but if, when wrote this, you might be the one to ask.
Right.
So in the very first exemption, A, is goods prepared or packaged outside the town.
Yeah.
Could that be why Shaw's is a concern? Because everything on their shelf is prepared or packaged outside of town, and therefore none of this applies.
Well, not none. They have a salad bar. They're probably packaging vegetables on site. They may be packaging some meat on site. But, I don't know, big, 5-pound tray of wings, maybe packaged off-site, I don't know. We do have a case in Brookline where one of the restaurant, it's a small grocery store, move their food pack, their meat packing to a central facility outside of town. It's not what we want, but at least they understood the message that, you know, we want you to do this. We can't force you to do it outside of town. We don't have jurisdiction. But it has happened. But as I said, there's San Francisco who says, you know what, you can't even sell eggs in polystyrene foam. Doesn't matter where you get it. So it depends on how aggressive you want to be. I would consider this kind of a moderately aggressive law compared to what's been done nationwide. It's still in advance of a lot of the 30 communities, even in Massachusetts.
I want to be clear, just before we bring on our next guest, that we're trying to work with our businesses. So, you know, we're not going to drive anybody out of business because we do this. There are alternatives that exist for a number of things. There may be some things that no good alternative exists for, and that's what we'll try and explore and find out. And we could consider exemptions for those kinds of things. So, this is a process. We've got a draft here, but we may need to build in certain things. The other part of it is that we're not going to do this overnight. One of the things that I've heard about is that our schools were using the polystyrene foam trays. And that was, my son brought that up to me, what can we do about that? And then they switched. Well, in talking to Doug Fiore, who's the finance director, they just wanted to finish out what they had. So they finished those out, and now, going forward, the company that supplies the food is going to be using compostable trays. Probably better if they were using washable trays like we were kids, but certainly compostable trays are better than polystyrene. So at this point, I would ask Clint to stick around because I think there may be more questions at the end if you can. We appreciate it. We thank you very much for the presentation.
Thank you, and thank you for considering this. This is super important.